Here we have Trail of Tears beans. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you can get your hands on Trail of Tears beans, do it. I've been aware of this type of bean for about maybe 5 or 6 years, something like that. Grown them a couple times, didn't save any seeds. Oh boy, I'll tell you, I'm saving seeds now. I got this little package of Trail of Tears beans from Baker Creek Heirloom Seed Company, or what is it, heirloomseeds.com or something like that. And I'll tell you, I got 100% sprout rate. You know what that means? That means I sprouted 50 beans, or 48, 2 per container. And so I did a 24 seed tray, and I got 100% sprout rate. And I noticed that these beans are very adaptable and hardy to your conditions. So you see, we're in this high tunnel right now in the middle of the day, and it's hot. And I'm doing my best to, stay in here. I open the door over there, kind of letting it ventilate out a little bit. And when it's hot like this, the beans just point north, man. They point straight up. The leaves are pointing up on all of them. Look at that. Their leaves are pointing up. That means less surface area. That means it's conserving its water. And there's water in the soil here. Like, this is black birthday cake soil. And these plants, these little Trail of Tears beans, are adapting. And in fact, they're thriving on this heat. But during the heat of the day, they point their leaves straight up. But guess what? When it's cold out, they do the same thing. They point their leaves up so they don't get frostbite. So when it's too hot but when it's cold, I think they point their leaves the opposite way. Point them down. But either way, they turn their leaves vertical when it's hot or cold, and they conserve their energy during the heat of the day. They have a 100% sprout rate. At least the ones I sprouted did. And they're highly vigorous and resistant to snail damage. This one got chewed on by a snail right at the base. And it's like the tallest nail. The first one to get hammered down. Look at it. It's growing taller. So it's also kind of spiritual. I've always revered our First Nations people of North America, the Native Americans. And the reason why they call this the Trail of Tears is because the beans that our ancestors, our Native American ancestors, cultivated, these are the best variety. They brought these beans along the Trail of Tears, where they were marched in kind of like a death march from one reservation to the next, to the next, to the next. And these people were marched till their death, and they would die along the trail. And it was a very sad time. What's interesting, from what I read and from what I've heard, our Native American ancestors knew that they couldn't bring their heirloom seeds with them without them getting confiscated by the tyrants that were marching them along the way, which are also people that were struggling in their own way, right? So what these people did was our ancestors, they stitched these beans into their clothing and into their blankets. And so when somebody unfortunately died along the march, along that Trail of Tears, their family members, their siblings would strip their clothes off of their naked bodies, off their dead bodies, leaving them naked, because in those clothes were these sacred heirloom seeds. And all I gotta say is, you know, to our Native Americans, our Native American ancestors, is thank you for bringing these beans out and sharing them with the world, because these are definitely a special heirloom, and I'm in deep gratitude to be able to grow them here in my high tunnel and just kind of watch and learn from their behavior. And I'm definitely going to save a portion of these seeds and continue growing them for the rest of my life, as long as I can save seeds and grow them. So, you know, a toast to the Native Americans that preserve these beans even unto their own death and gave them back to the world unselfishly. The Trail of Tears. And also I have another bed over here. The sacred heirloom Native American bean, named after the struggle that our ancestors went through. And survivors, highly adaptable, and an heirloom that can teach us many lessons. I will give you multiple updates on the future of these beans as they grow. Thanks for watching.